Okay guys, we gotta talk about this Maison Darius collection. So we're just gonna jump right into it. My favorite from this house is Fior. And the notes of Fior are as follows. We have musk, sandalwood, oud, lang lang, honey, and lily. Now, as we all know, I'm a huge oud fan, and all of his fragrances have oud in them. So as soon as I seen all of the oud in it, I was automatically, I wanted to inquire about this fragrance. So let's talk about Fior. As soon as I smelled Fior, I said to myself, this is top 5 all time. This is top 5 all time for me. This is the best smelling fragrance I've smelled this year. And I've smelled a lot of fragrances. I've smelled a lot of different fragrance houses. As you guys know, I've been to London this year. I've smelled a lot of things, and this tops everything I've smelled this year. When I first smelled this fragrance, I said to myself, this smells, not only does it smell expensive, not only does it last forever, because all of his fragrances are straight, so they last forever. They project, they check the boxes 10 out of 10 on all of the things that you look for. Sillage, all of this is 10 out of 10, all of his fragrances. This is right down my alley. This was tailor-made for my nose. It's a sharp, clean, soapy honey scent, and it has that oud factor in it, which I think is blended very well. And as we know, oud can either take over a fragrance, or it can be so little or so insignificant in a fragrance that is not worth mentioning. This is somewhere in the middle. This is a sharp, expensive, slightly soapy, clean fragrance. The honey note in it, I think, is what you smell prominently in it. But when I say this fragrance is top 5 all time, this fragrance is top 5 all time for me. As far as my top 5 goes, the 4 and the 5 spot is always subjective. The 1, 2, and the 3 never really changes, but the 4 and the 5 for me usually changes. Well, I can tell you right now, this is top 5. This is number 4 on my list, and it'll probably move down as I keep wearing it. But it was love at first sniff for me. So I know what you may be thinking. You may be thinking, okay, well, you haven't smelled it long enough to know that it's your top 5 all time. Well, what I would say to that is, okay, when you taste, let's say you like sweet potato pie, and you taste this sweet potato pie and it's really, really good. Do you have to eat the whole pie before you realize that it's the best sweet potato pie you've ever had? Or can you tell it the first time you bite it? Right, exactly. So this Fior is top 5 all time for me, period. And you're gonna see a lot of videos with me and Fior, because I'm gonna be wearing this daily, and I'm gonna be posting several videos about this one, because it was that much of a wow factor for me. So I gotta that's what it is. Okay, so next, let's talk about V. There's V. And so the notes of V, which is velour, are as follows. We have caramel, amber, and oud. Just 3 notes, and I have it right here on my wrist. So this is another really good one. I'm just highly impressed by this house because it caught me off guard, and these fragrances are just amazing. So what I will say about this one has more of a nostalgic vibe for me. This fragrance, it reminds me of a conditioner I smelled way back in the day. Maybe like early or late, maybe like late 90s. There was these conditioners that came in these little kids perm boxes, and this is what this reminds me of. That's just me personally, so it probably won't smell like that to you, but it reminds me of a really good conditioner that I've smelled somewhere in the past, and I like it a lot. This fragrance, again, it has oud in it as well. It's well blended, and honestly, it smells purple to me. If I was to, smell this fragrance, I would think that the liquid was purple, if that makes any sense. As you guys know, I do photography and videography, so I think in terms of like visually, like I smell things visually sometimes, so this smells purple to me. It's really good. It lasts, sillage, projection, all of that good stuff, it lasts. You don't have to worry about that. And it's a pleasing fragrance. It's definitely something that I would want to have in my collection. And I'm not catching the caramel, or maybe I'm just not too familiar with how caramel smells in a fragrance, but it smells really, really good. It reminds me of a conditioner, which is, again, that's a very odd description, but it's like one of the better conditioners you'd ever smell. Have you ever smelled a conditioner and was like, man, if that was a fragrance, I would spray it? Like, that's kind of what I feel about this one, and I haven't smelled anything better as far as conditioner wise. So that's my opinion. I would be curious for you guys to purchase this and get your thoughts on it, but to me, that's what it smells like, and I like it a lot. Overall, I give this a 7.5 out of 10. I give Fior a 10 out of 10. This is a 7.5 out of 10. I got a lot of 7.5 out of 10s in my collection. This will be one of them. So next we have N. So let me read you some of the notes of N. N stands for Notoriata, and the notes are caramel, vanilla, oud, amber, and violet. Now, as we all know, you probably have seen several videos where I say I'm not a vanilla fan, because if you smell one vanilla, in my opinion, you smell most of them. So it's like, how do you distinguish a good vanilla from a bad vanilla? It's all vanilla. Well, that changed today. I finally found my vanilla fragrance, and N is absolutely my vanilla fragrance. I talked to someone in my DM and they said that it reminds them of a Snicker. Now, I don't get Snicker because I don't get any chocolate in it, but this, first of all, this lasts forever. This projects like crazy. It's an extrait, like every one of his perfumes are extraits. This is gonna last you forever. For all of my vanilla lovers, and I know a lot of vanilla lovers, you're gonna absolutely love this if you're a vanilla lover. Me not being a vanilla lover in any stretch of the imagination, I love this fragrance. This would be probably my second favorite from this complete house. If Fior didn't exist, this would be my favorite, which is saying a lot because I'm not a vanilla person. This is it for me. It has that oud that I'm looking for. You smell the caramel, and it has that vanilla in it. This is the end-all be-all vanilla fragrance for me. I'll probably stop looking because I've been looking for a vanilla fragrance. I'll stop looking after this because it won't be a better vanilla fragrance than this. Let's move on. So next we have P. So let's read some of the notes of P. P stands for piacer. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Piacer, whatever. So we have amber, oud, green tea, and rose. So the prominent note that I'm catching in P is rose. I'm catching a lot of rose. Now, I'm not a huge rose fan, but I do have exceptions. This again would fit into my exception of rose. In my opinion, I kind of view rose the same way I view vanilla. It's like if you smell one rose fragrance, you smell most. This would be a rose fragrance that I would buy. It's one of the better smelling roses because it has oud in it, okay? Rose plus oud, or oud plus anything, is gonna automatically catch my attention. This is rose and oud. This is a rose oud fragrance, and I like it a lot. For all of my rose fans, you guys are gonna love P. Last but not least, we have Honor. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Honor? O? I'm just gonna call it O. And the notes of that are as follows. We have oud, patchouli, grapefruit, rose, vanilla, and sandalwood. So I'm gonna spray this one on right now. There we go. So this smells really good. Now this would probably be the most oudiest of them all. As you guys know, I'm a huge oud fan. I absolutely love oud. O is third for me from this house, and it's also a must-have. It's rare that I find a fragrance house where I have 3 must-haves in one collection. That's never happened for me, or maybe it has and I just don't remember. But O is probably my second to third favorite. I'm gonna put it as my number 2, and I'm gonna move Notoriata down to my number 3 spot. This gets my number 2 spot. This is the oudiest of them all. I do smell that rose. It's very subtle. It's not as prominent as P, but that rose is there. And I think I like my rose a little bit subtle. So this is that for me. Plus the oud, plus it has grapefruit. Grapefruit is one of my favorite notes. I have a few grapefruit fragrances, and this is no exception to that. I absolutely love this fragrance. This is number 2 for me. It has vanilla, and it also, I'm looking at my notes as you can tell, it has vanilla and it also has sandalwood in it. I'm a huge sandalwood fan. I'm not really picking up on the sandalwood. I probably got to let it sit for a while before that comes about. And I'm not smelling the vanilla either. So we're talking about vanilla and rose are subtle in this fragrance. This is the oodiest of them all. It's the most prominent for the oud, and it has grapefruit in it. So this is honestly, Maison Darius is checking off, or is breaking a lot of barriers from, you know, because I already had preconceived notions of vanilla fragrances and rose fragrances. So for me to find one fragrance house that broke both of those barriers, that's saying a lot. This is moving to one of my favorite fragrance houses. If not, this may be one of my top 3 fragrance houses, because I can honestly say he went about 5 for 5, and there's 4 that I like from here, and there's 3 that I gotta have. That's saying a lot, guys. I hope I was able to give you guys some clarification. I would love to collab with Maison Darius in the future. Hint, hint, note, note. We've had a few conversations, and I'm definitely looking to do a giveaway with him, because I'm just blown away. I'm blown away by these fragrances, and I mean, what more can I say? Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.